Come one, come all, welcome back, or hello there for the first time. I'm Toasty Taco, the floating PNG that tells you what shows or games he liked and reviews them in the most unofficial, casual, and unprofessional way possible. If you're literate in English, which I assume you are, then you already know what today's little video is about, a new-ish show called Nokotan, and oh boy, where do I even start with this enigma of a television program. I usually try to keep these reviews within the ballpark of 10 minutes, but frankly, I don't think I'll be able to ramble on enough to make it that long. You guys are basically time travelers though, since you already know how long the video is. Comment down below how long it is so my future self knows if I ended up writing a good long enough script. Jokes aside, I have no clue how to begin other than stating my honest opinion of the show. It's sort of like an odd blend of absolute cinema, if cinema's definition was tweaked a bit to go from story told over the film medium and adjusted to something more like an unforgettable show-watching experience. Because of the many things Nokotan is, forgettable is not one of them. In fact, I think this might be the premier show in a very certain category. For a long time, I thought nothing would beat JoJo's for world's most bizarre anime, but I think this dear girl and the stash of hallucinogens in the director's studio will give JoJo a run for its money. I don't think I've ever been this completely and utterly flabbergasted in my entire life. Legitimate jaw-dropping and spiral eyes happened at least twice or thrice per episode. If I woke up tomorrow and learned that British food tastes good and Yu-Gi-Oh cards were a feasible retirement plan, I still think I'd be less confused than I was while watching this complete masterclass of a train wreck. And I don't mean train wreck in a bad way, by no means. It's just that Nokotan is sort of like a highway accident. You just can't help but stare at it in absolute shock and amazement. So anyway, time to dive a little deeper into the material itself, but like I said before, I don't think I'll have too much commentary on the fine intricacies of Nokotan's cinematic universe and its deeper lore ramifications. Characters, I suppose we'll start with them. Of course we have Nokotan, the deer girl, which in Japanese literally translates to deer girl. Is it explained why she's a deer? No. Her parents? Nope. Where she lives? I'm pretty sure the zoo, but...
it was really unclear.
But being completely honest though, the other character in the show didn't hit all that hard for me. Some of them felt a tad too tropey to really feel unique or engaging. Still perfectly funny, of course, just not really a show stealer for the other characters. I don't really think that's a big deal though, since the show is literally named after Nokotan. It makes sense that she gets most of the spotlight. Speaking of spotlight, plot time! Yeah, okay, anyway, now that the section on plot is over, no, for real though, what can I say about the plot? I kid you not, it's not even a loose one, it's just non-existent. The main character has to host a deer club, and that is literally the entire synopsis. That is the story. Just because there's not a central story doesn't mean stuff doesn't happen though. Oh, no, 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 no. Stuff happens a lot. From scalpings, to stalker game shows, to high school girls being shot at with rifles, Nokotan really does just about whatever it wants, with no regard for the sanity and health of the watcher. I think my personal favorite example of just how out of pocket the show can be is a random fight scene. You expect some kind of little brawl, overdramatic death, or teacher intervention because it's in a high school, but no, Nokotan simply pops off an antler, which is never explained how this is possible by the way, and threatens to blow them up. I tried to take this revelation in stride, thinking to myself, oh, maybe it's a bluff. Then I remembered it's Nokotan, so I changed my theory to, oh, I bet it'll be like a firecracker. I assumed I outsmarted the writers. I guessed their goofy, quirky twist. You could say I was successful, if you think saying Hiroshima had a slight chance of rain the day the nuke dropped was an accurate hypothesis. Because yes, the antler blew up, but it ravaged the entire school. An actual act of terror level combustion right here. And then 3 minutes later, the consequences are brushed off and we move on to the next wacky hijink. Because I kid you not, every single 20-minute episode felt like it was so long because there's just so much going on in every episode that you honestly are exhausted by the time you're done with one. I do think that is the best part of the show though, its ability to leave you utterly flabbergasted at every little twist and turn without giving you any time to recover, because it's not occasional weirdness taking form over a joke here and there. Each episode is literally just 20 minutes straight of mind-boggling anime that borders on the effects of chugging 4 gallons of ayahuasca. That's why, despite it being only 12 episodes, this show actually took me multiple weeks to finish, approaching months I think. I had to take a few days breather in between every single episode, because if you experience more than 40 minutes of Nokotan over the span of 48 hours, you are subject to a list of potential health risks longer than the terms of service on a sketchy cryptocurrency site. As per the actual production value, I thought the show looked great. I could never decide if the CGI idea were an artistic decision or budget corner cutting. Either way, they made every scene they were in way funnier just by virtue of looking incredibly goofy. The music and whatnot was also pretty satisfactory. The single best part of the show's production value, though, is its opening. This has got to be a legitimate top 10, maybe even 5 anime opening of all time. Incredibly catchy, summarizes the vibe of the show perfectly, and has all sorts of goofy references like Dark Souls and even JoJo. Toasty, that's actually referencing Fist of the North Star. Shut up, it's JoJo. I'm too brainwashed to be convinced otherwise. Okay. I think I touched on everything, so let's whip out the taco treatise and flop it out on the table. What am I gonna rate this one-of-a-kind disaster piece? A solid 8. I thought it was hilarious, but was just a tad too in-your-face and goofy to really get you invested in it beyond surface-level goofiness. Because sure, comedy is great, but it's nice if you do care about the characters at least a little bit, or if there's some stakes instead of just, constant memes just the entire time. Overall, it is a top tier comedy show though, and if you love laughing, you'll love Nokotan, not to mention the absolutely god tier memes you can squeeze out of this bad boy. Big thanks to Frog Wizard and new channel member Rex, who's actually on the elite tiers, so everyone say Rex is the GOAT in the comments. If you want early videos, he used taco emojis in the comments and all sorts of other perks, become a channel member. Shameless plugs aside though, I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you have an amazing day. Even if you don't like and subscribe, I wish you the best, you've earned it. Here's the people who answered the question at the end of last video, answer my question today and be at the end of the upcoming video. My question today is, what's your favorite forest animal, deer, bear, etc.? Have a lovely day, fellows. Talk out.